what's up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Claire if this is your first time here, and today we're going to be doing a different type of video. I'm going to be telling you the top 10 but we're going to be talking about my top 10 biggest regrets from my college days, and those days were not that long ago. To kind of give you a background about myself, if you're new, I'm 23 years old. I'm from Alabama, and I went to Auburn University, War Eagle, Wiggle, and I majored in finance and political science. And somehow magically along the way I found myself not wanting to go the path that I thought I was going to go. I wanted to originally go to law school, and then I realized I don't want to do that at all, and I magically ended up at Victoria's Secret Pink on their digital commerce team in Columbus, Ohio, which is where I am now. And I graduated in May of 2019, and it is currently January of 2020. So that's me, and I'm gonna be just telling you 10 things that I really regret from college, and maybe some of you can relate, or maybe some of you going into college will not, do the same things I did. So let's go. So I have my little handy dandy notebook. I always kind of like write down what I'm going to talk about. Basically, the first thing, number one thing that I regret is not majoring in something that I was passionate about. Now, going into college, I have an entire video talking about how many times I changed my major. I changed it to pretty much everything: pharmacy, fashion design, interior design, journalism. But ultimately, I ended up with political science and later on added finance. And I was trying to think of what would make me the most money outside of college. That is not the best way to be, because it turned out I kind of did not love either one of my majors. I did think they were super interesting. I love learning about government and law and history. I loved that part of the political science aspect. And then finance was super interesting, learning about like corporations and business law and that kind of stuff. But the actual bulk of each major I did not have a super big interest in, and I think Jesus knew that, and that's how he got me a job in retail. So which is what I was passionate about. And if I could go back, I would rather do something that had to do with, either, again, like fashion design or interior design. I love those ideas. And then even like graphic design or marketing, I would love to do any of that kind of stuff. Basically, I wish I would have done more research about majors and not majored in something that I was either pressured to do. Not that that necessarily happened to be, but I know a lot of people, your family can be like, you need to major in this, you need to do this, this will make you a lot of money. Don't listen. Do whatever you want to do, like do what you're passionate about, and the money will come in return. So that's one of my big regrets, is not really majoring in something that I was truly passionate about. And that kind of goes with number two, which I wish I would have spent more time during my freshman year researching majors and going to places like the Career Center and watching YouTube videos about how to choose a major and taking online quizzes about how to choose a major and talking to people with jobs that I was interested in, because I promise you that's not weird. I was like so weirded out at the thought of like maybe messaging somebody on LinkedIn and just being like, hey, could I saw what you do for a living, I'm super interested in that, I would love if I could call you for like 30 minutes one day and learn more about what you do and how you got to where you got and like what you majored in. Don't be afraid to do things like that, reach out to people, go to the Career Center, they'll talk to you. I actually went one time to the Career Center and it said I should do something totally random, like in a creative field, and I was like too far into my major, but I was having like a breakdown that day because I kind of hated what I was doing. But yeah, talk to professors in the classes that you do enjoy. You can take like electives of things that may not have to do with your major, and like talk to those professors, because I promise you, you will find somebody that has, something that you're interested in doing, and they will help you. Number three, I feel like is a pretty basic regret, is not eating healthy like I should have. So basically my freshman year, I actually lost weight. I lost like 5 pounds that year because I was walking all the time. We didn't have a kitchen, and I ate on campus a lot, but I ate healthy. Same thing with like sophomore year, I ate pretty healthy. I was friends honestly with a lot of athletes during those years. I had pretty much a friend on every team, and they would always pay for my food in this place called Wellness Kitchen. kitchen, which is like a healthy dining hall specifically for athletes because they ate for free. And so I ate really healthy my freshman and sophomore year because I lived on campus. And then junior year I moved off campus and I was near fast food. I was near Sonic and Zaxby's, and I gained weight. I did not gain the freshman 15 or 20 or whatever, sophomore 20, but I waited until junior and senior year to gain weight, and so it caught up with me. So yeah, I wish I would have meal prepped. I think that would have been super helpful. I kind of just went meal to meal, not really knowing what I was gonna have. I ate a lot of like buttered pasta and just fast food, and it was not good for me, and that's something that I really do regret. So definitely, if you live off campus, try meal prepping. Number 4, a regret that I really have so hard is not getting more involved with my church. So I went to Church of the Highlands, and I went to a thing called Wont, which was every Thursday night. They had like college night, and it was basically like a worship night for college students, and it was a really good way to meet people. And Church of the Highlands, you could really get involved with one and be like a volunteer, and they had like an internship program and like even a college. And I really honestly do wish I would have done that, and I wish I would have joined more small groups and made more friends within my church. Now, I had friends that I went to church with, and they're amazing, and I just wish that I would have gone to, you know, every single week, every single Sunday, every single Thursday, and gotten involved on one of the teams there. That'll always be something that I regret, because I know I missed out on meeting so many awesome people by being too afraid, because I always had this in my mind that, oh, these people are so perfect and I'm not perfect, and so that'll make it weird. But it turns out they're not perfect either, because nobody is, and so I probably would have fit in just fine. And so yeah, that's something that I really do regret, is not getting more involved with my church. Number 5 is another thing kind of similar, is not making friends with anybody in any of my classes. Now, I'm not joking, y'all. I had no friends in any of my classes. There would be a couple people like every other semester that I would be like, oh hey, I remember you, we had a group project. But every single other person on this earth, I feel like, makes friends with people in their classes, and I never did. I was a finance and political science major, and for the classes, like some of them were huge, but some of them were not that big. Some of them we had like 20, 25, 30 people, and it's not that I thought I was too good, it was just, it got to the point where it was like junior year, senior year, and I was like, if I start talking to them now, it'll just be weird, because we had been there since like freshman year in some of these smaller classes. And I don't know, I was just scared because they were always smart, like finance and political science. You either have people that are going to law school or are going to, like, you know, work for some big finance corporate firm, and I just felt so dumb. And I feel like if I would have majored in something that I was passionate about, then I would have not been too like self-conscious to talk to people in my classes. Like graduation, I sat by myself, and I just did not have a good time. I never made friends in any of my classes, and I regret that hard. My next one is I regret not making connections in a relationship with my professors. So your professors will tell you that on the very first day about office hours, like when you can visit them, make an appointment, and some of them will be blunt and be like, look, if I don't see you, you know, in my office hours, I'm not gonna know who you are when you ask me for extra credit. Sorry, I cannot talk. And I was just like, why would I go to office hours? I don't have anything to talk about with these people. And even in the classes that I made A's in, I wish I would have gone and talked to them to learn, you know, more about them, and they could have helped me, you know, make connections with people in companies. And luckily, like, everything worked out in the end because I was passionate about pink, because I was a pink campus rep. And so that's how I made connections with this brand, and I loved it, and it showed. But you just never know, like, if you're not a pink campus rep, you know, if that didn't happen for you, you never know what connections you can make with your professors that can really affect your, like, career. And I wish I would have gone to their hours, not just when I was like doing bad, like with accounting. I went to my professor's office hours every week and cried, and I think it would have gone a lot better if I would not have done that. Number 7, I regret not getting an on-campus job sooner. So I started working at my job on campus at the beginning of my sophomore year, but I think that if I would have gotten an on-campus job during my freshman year, I would have just been a lot happier. You know, I kind of got a little depressed freshman year. I've talked about that before. I was going through a lot, and I made so many amazing friends at my job sophomore year, and I think that doing something like that would have been really good for my mental health and my financial health if I would have done that freshman year. And to let you know, like where I worked for the Auburn Arena. So basically our job was to kind of just set up and break down for games and events and practices. We did like basketball, volleyball, gymnastics, even stuff with football. And it was kind of like a boy job, but there were a lot of girls that worked there too. And we had so much fun all the time. And I just regret not getting that job sooner, so that way I would have had, you know, extra cash, even though I wasn't making like, you know, a lot of money. Just having, you know, something to kind of look forward to that wasn't school, instead of just going back to my room and crying. I think that would have been really good. And also, if you're looking to get an on-campus job, a lot of them are really like, they work around your schedule. And so yeah, I recommend doing that. That's a regret. Number 8 is kind of like a part A, part B. I regret not going to more like on-campus events and not saying yes to more activities, while also I was putting time and energy into people that didn't do the same for me. So by that I mean I made amazing friends that I'm still friends with today, but even there were other people that I feel like I could have been even closer friends with now still today if I would have just said yes to doing more things. Because it's not that I got involved in like the wrong crowd or anything. I just, like I said, I was friends with athletes, and I was friends with like that kind of crew on campus, and I don't really talk about that ever, and I'm not really friends with those people anymore because, you know, they didn't put the time and energy into being friends with me, and I was just more of like a convenience, you know, because I would drive them wherever they would go, but they would also pay for my food and stuff like that. But like friendship should be like a give situation, and I just wish there were so many people, like again in church, that would ask me to do things and ask me to hang out, and I would always say I couldn't, and that's because I was so intimidated by them, because in my mind they were perfect. And yeah, and so I just felt like it was easier to be friends with people that I knew weren't perfect and were not a good example of who I should be friends with. And so I wish, back to like saying yes to on-campus events, like so many things happen on campus all the time, and people would want to go, and I would always just say no. And this was even before YouTube. I didn't really have a whole lot to do, but I did always take like 18 credit hours, and I did work like 20 hours a week. So I was like, when I wasn't working, I was just burnt out. But I just wish I would have spent more time, you know, making friends. Number 9 kind of bounces off of those. I wish that I would have not always worried so much about what's next. That is still something I'm working on. That's one of my resolutions for this year. I have this problem where I'm always worried about what the next thing is, and I just can't focus on living in the moment. That's a big problem for me. So I'm always like, I will burn myself out, and that's another reason why I didn't say yes to a lot of things, because I would always be focusing about what's next, like what test is next, when do I have work next, when do I have time to work out next. If I need to do that now, then I just need to do that now. And so like I did, like even like example, like getting asked out on a date, I would always say no, because I was like, well, we're probably not going to move the same place after college anyway, so I'm worried about where I'm going after college. And then now I'm here, and I'm like worried about, you know, when I'm going to be busy with work and stuff, so now I don't want to, so now I'm probably going to be alone. So like little things like that, I just wish I would have lived in the moment, enjoyed, you know, my each semester, even though like some classes would be awful and hard. I just wished I would have been more, I don't know, just not rushing to the next thing. And then like if I would have like a spring break trip planned, or like go home for Christmas, I would just focus so much on that I wouldn't think about anything else. So that was definitely a regret. Number 10 is something that I need y'all to listen to me if you're still in school. I regret not always paying attention in my classes and actually trying to learn, and only focusing on trying to pass. Now, I had some professors that made it nearly impossible to actually learn in their classes, because they would just go from one thing to the next, and you would just have to focus on like absorbing that information for the amount of time that you would need it for like the test. And then you would just, you know, that would be all you could like do, was just memorize it and then take a test on it and then delete it from your memory. And so that was kind of how it was for a lot of my classes. So I would just try to like memorize, because I have a really good memory. Like I can memorize words and like dates and numbers and stuff, but as far as like absorbing the information, I don't remember for a whole lot because I was always focused on making good grades rather than actually doing what I was supposed to be doing, which is learning. So that's definitely a big regret of mine. It was not actually trying to learn, if that makes sense. Sorry guys, forgot to film an outro, so here we are. Ignore the dishwasher, it's really loud. But going back to number 10, I just wanted to say that when I said I wasn't always trying to learn, that was because it was a major or majors that I wasn't completely wholeheartedly interested in, and I feel like if I would have majored in something that I loved and was passionate about, I would have been more interested in learning. And so that's what that was about, because Auburn professors are thebomb.com, and so they really did try. It was me, not them. And so if you like this video, let me know down below. I'm going to be filming a lot more college related videos for those of you maybe going to college or in college. So if you're interested in any kind of videos, leave me a comment down below letting me know what you want to see next. And thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe. Love you guys. Bye.